Hi guys, welcome to FlickU, your one-stop shop for cool films and shows you may have missed. You can check out our previous installments on hypehouston.com. Each week we're going to be looking at 5 films currently streaming that you should be investing your time in. This week, our choices are...
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And all my life I've wanted to be famous.
The breakout role that put Tom Hardy on the map. Bronson is really not for everyone. It's violent, often repelling, unapologetic in its joy of causing misery to others, and visually it's almost hostile towards the viewer.
I'm Charlie Bronson. I am Britain's most violent prisoner.
Hardy is in every single scene of the film, and there isn't a second where he isn't absolutely magnetic. Hardy's performance is at once charismatic, funny, tragic, and terrifying, to the point that you're never quite sure what to do with this animal of a man. The film makes no apologies for itself, and will certainly turn off many because of the subject material. But those that are willing to brave director Nicholas Refn's nightmare are rewarded with one of the best, often overlooked performances of the past decade.
And you're no more mad than I am, and that scares them.
The film is available on Amazon Prime.
I want out, Brody. Not in a month. Not 6. Now. My first letter in 14 years. I gotta see her. I gotta make things right.
Prison movies have been scraping the bottom of the barrel for a while now, but this rarely celebrated gem from the early 2000s still stands tall as a prime example of the genre done right. The film is notable for its depiction of prison as a mythological, almost surreal environment. The ecosystem is wholly unstable and inhospitable. The mundane acts of everyday life behind bars become a repetitive rhythm that play throughout the entire film.
You got one thing going for you, Frank. You're too old to die young.
When the actual escape happens, the film becomes even more operatic and grandiose in scale. But as with all escape films, the less you know, the better. It's on Netflix right now, go check it out.
This year, Miramax Films takes great pride in extending to you an advance invitation to celebrate New Year's Eve at the Monsignor Hotel.
Heavily borrowing from the films of Jerry Lewis, right down to Tim Roth's manic, almost demented performance, this anthology film from directors like Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino is one of the last great examples of farce and slapstick done right.
All you have to do is hold the fort, and the night's cake.
Okay. Is in for the night of his life.
Okay, Ted, what's the problem?
I haven't got a problem. I've got problems. Plural.
My children are staying here tonight watching TV.
Get a bottle opener!
If something happens to my children, they wouldn't want to be you.
The 5 of us are a coven.
Roth plays the bellhop Ted, working for what was once the hippest, classiest hotel in town, now reduced to a fading memory of its glory days. It's New Year's Eve, and Ted is faced with 4 bizarre guests that range from a coven of witches to a Hollywood party out of control.
Gotta get out of here.
Each room is directed by a different director, and the changes in style for each setting keeps the film from never feeling repetitive. A special shout-out has to go to Alexandra Rockwell, whose story The Wrong Man is a full-on celebration of machine gun dialogue and goofy pratfalls.
I'm stuck in a situation here which I couldn't possibly begin to explain.
Tim Roth is fantastic as the neurotic, over-the-top bellhop leading the story, and every one of the guest stars, from Bruce Willis to Antonio Banderas and Jennifer Beals, are having way too much fun playing the absolutely worst possible people to have under the same roof. The film is streaming on Netflix right now.
4 rooms.
I understand you and your men have a job to do here, but we're in the middle of a 10-year-old's birthday party.
And I'm sorry, but we are coming in.
That's not a problem. We have nothing to hide from you. My husband is a good man. Don't mistake his honesty for weakness. He deserves respect. This was very disrespectful.
1981 has been reported to have been the most violent year in the history of New York City. Set in this volatile time period, a most violent year follows Abel Morales, played by Oscar Isaac, as he tries to secure a final contract to his own property on the island of Manhattan, where he wants to build his oil heating company. Plagued by problems from all sides, including the rising crime wave that targets his business, Morales tries to navigate the pitfalls of being a good man in a town without morality or justice, while desperately trying to hold on to his own sense of self-worth. The film is very reminiscent of Sidney Lumet's crime dramas, in that it's slow but never boring, and while the story may not amount to huge, life-changing results, you're always invested in what happens to the lead characters. It's also an intriguing look at the troubled past of New York, and as a time capsule of the era, it's one of the very best. Check it out on Amazon Prime.
It's not a brick through a car window. This is your kid playing with a loaded gun. Katie!
The DA's coming down with 14-count indictment. We've just pushed it a little too far, that's all.
Can't have this situation continuing.
If one of these guys shoots someone,
It will be the end of everything that we have worked for.
and that I can't do.
That looks good. Is this man your friend?
Tell me where your brother is.
He's going south, a long way from here. I'll take you to him, I promise.
Your brother left you to die.
Robert Pattinson can act? Who knew? After surviving the wasteland that is the Twilight movies, Pattinson proved himself to be a surprisingly charismatic character actor, playing the dim-witted, mentally challenged robber in David Michôd's post-apocalypse fable, The Rover. Set in Australia after the collapse of society, The Rover follows Guy Pearce as he chases down a group of thieves who stole his car. There's very little dialogue in the film, and much of the story amounts to very little in the end, but the mood and helplessness of the world make up for that. Not much is told about what has happened, but Michaud builds a convincing portrait of a world gone bad from simple visual cues and horrific events only insinuated to be happening behind closed doors. Guy Pearce is terrific as the lead. Pattinson is a surprise, and while the ending will leave undoubtedly many cold, the film is a worthy expansion to the post-apocalypse genre. It's not as good as David Michôd's first film, Animal Kingdom, but since that film isn't available on any of the streaming services right now, this will do just fine. It's available on Amazon Prime.
I'm here. And he's not.
That's our picks for this week. Did we miss something? Is there a cult classic we should be talking about? Leave a message in the comments section, don't forget to subscribe, and keep watching movies. See you next time.